So it's a lot easier to find the overlap. Here I'm just going to head down this line. Maybe a little bit of overlap, but yeah, it's good enough. 68% done already. But you can you can churn these out really quickly, which is the nice thing. I could make this spread width narrower. I don't need to. Okay, let's get paid. I like getting paid. And 98 is the last one. We could take up 29. It's probably around here somewhere. 29 and 98. 29's back the way we came. Of course it is. Where is 29? Oh, 29's opposite the store. That's... I wonder if I can get through there. I don't think I can go that way. Back to the store. It is what it is. Ouch. Oh. 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 Crash. Crash and recovered. So what else was going on this week? So this week Mrs. Osa went in for her, or last week she went in for a CAT scan. This week she went in for her results. No changes, so everything that we're expected to have had cleared up seems to have cleared up, and there's nothing else going on. So our 2 years of medical issues seems to be over for the immediate future. Oh, run over the people. Now, do I think I can get to 29 from here? It's possible I can. And it saves driving all the way to the store, I think. That would be a no. No, definitely have to come in from the other end. However, looks like this way might offer some respite. Because once we're on grass fields do have multiple entrance ways. Or it gets us into this yard over here, which does give us access to 29. Okay, that's good. We are now down to 51% in the tank, so I think we're doing okay. Okay, that's 20. It's 20. Actually, that might be 30. Good grief. There we go. So then on Friday, I went up to one of our big warehouses and we had a tour of their awesome new stuff. We have a computer-aided storage and retrieval system, which is almost human hand-free. Obviously, humans have to confirm what's going into the system and what's coming out of the system, but outside of that, computer control takes care of absolutely everything. Like, we don't even know where a piece of material is because the computer will put it somewhere and it remembers where it put it, so next time it needs it, it gets it from the location it last put it in. And you have stuff moving around this system constantly. Okay, we'll go back to here. Actually, this works out quite nicely. We'll come out across from the store and we'll go the back road to the last contract. So that was fun. We've got, what was it? We have a thing, 6 tube lasers, I think it is. One of them is huge. Can cut up to, I think they said 32 inches thick. Sort of tubes, not tubes. Tubes are solid, pipes are hollow, so it will cut through 32 inches of tube. Now, obviously, people don't want 32 inches of tube. What they want is thin discs that are 32 inches in diameter, and so that's what that thing's used for. And it'll make holes in it and all the rest of it. So it's quite impressive. And then we have 3 plate lasers, and we're buying 3 more next year, which have the one of the 3 more has the same capacity of the 3 we already have. But we're keeping the 3 we already have because we can still use them for small jobs and we don't have to take a big plate laser to cut stuff. It can be used on the big projects. So that'll all be interesting. They did say the new plate lasers, you can load them up with material, turn them on Friday night, and come back on Monday and all the jobs are completed. I thought, yeah, you can turn them on Friday night and come back on Monday morning and find an army of Terminators wandering around the place. Because it does everything unattended. Or can do. And we haven't laid anybody off doing these things. A lot of people were sort of, we're getting high-tech sort of computer-aided equipment. What are we going to do with all the operators of the existing equipment? We'll keep them. It just, because the computers now take care of so much production, our operators can do other things like receiving materials and loading materials and shipping materials, so our turnaround goes up. Apparently for store-to-store transfers from that branch, we've gone from a 6 months behind to on demand in the last couple of years. Because of all the computer-aided stuff, the fact that we can receive far more materials, the mills love us because it's sort of, we'll take material anytime, just keep sending it, and they do. So good stuff, and the IT team, which is what I'm part of, has been enabling that, all those changes. Turn off, and we get paid. No new contracts. So that is all of the contracts for the day. That's good. We'll get this over back to the farm. How much money do we have? 30,000. Actually, that's not bad. And there's that thing as well. It's not great. We had a Kubota last month, and now we've got the New Holland, but and 16,000. I'm sure we'll get another option at a skid steer or the other thing that happens. Telehandler. I haven't seen a telehandler come up yet. But a discounted New Holland telehandler or skid steer is where's my farm? Over there. Okay. It's cheaper than the little Massey Ferguson sort of metal frame, no mod cons that we had on the last farm at Maypole. And Cameo, welcome to Saturday morning. So I think I'm going to have to check what the when the weather's coming before we start cultivating. It's a shame there's no entrance to the grass fields from here either. I haven't checked what the discounts on the or premiums on the land is adjacent to the farm recently. We checked over winter and they were at plus 50%, maybe more sometimes. So what do we got left? 11:57. Now I did find out one unfortunate thing. These pallets will unload into that storage, but the big bags and the pallets of individual packs do not. So the pallets I bought earlier, I would have to load them into a thing in order to be able to unload them into that storage. So just something to be aware of. I'll walk over there and push those in. I mean, they're not that heavy, are they? That one's not. Oh, that'll be the phone. I will tell it to be quiet. Oh, seriously. My blood sugars are hovering just at the warning level. So it drops below for 5 minutes and then it goes up and triggers the alarm again. So that could be an annoying thing for the rest of this morning. If it goes high, so long as I respond to the alarm, it won't ring again. And if it goes low, obviously it won't ring. But it's when it's sort of hovering that it's a problem. Okay, rain is 1 o'clock. Oh, did I? I didn't speed up time. That's... oops. Okay, let's pick the cultivator. The cultivator is the white thing that doesn't have the seed distributor on it. Now, the other things we do have going on. Last week, Black Sheep dropped their man truck, semi and hook lift. Now, I've used the semi in the past, so I have added that to this game save. I can't remember who did. There's a New Holland T6000 and T7000, which are older models, which look quite nice. I've added those to the game save, so if we go and get a New Holland, I might get one of those instead of a T6 or T7. That's kind of the annoying thing about the horse equipment, is you do have to unfold them before you can lower them. Which kind of makes sense, I guess. Oh, my farmer friend from church, he released a video this week. A lot of it was talking about seed and purchasing seed and when he gets discounts and stuff like that. But he also has been planting cover crop on some of his fields that he's not planting anything for over the winter. That's north. With his drone, which is okay. That's kind of interesting. Now he's got this huge. It sounds like it's got an engine on it, gas engine on it. And last month he released a video where he was trialing it out on spraying the crops. Now he's doing. As I said, he's planting small fields with cover crops. Now, obviously with the big field, it's probably not going to work out well because you'll be constantly refilling it, but it does save on compaction, obviously. And I'm not sure he'd do a cash crop on it, because typically you're injecting cash crop seed into the ground, whereas with a cover crop he just wants something growing there to protect the soil when it rains, and obviously and snows and freezes and all of that. But I guess, yeah, interesting thing to see. His dad was out in the tractor planting cover crop in the adjacent much larger field. So I think at the moment they're sort of trialing out this drone stuff to see what application it has. He was also talking about the what is it? Oh crud! Wrong button. He was talking about his crop insurance for next year, and they decided they're planting something like about 55 acres of wheat again. But he wants to get that in the ground right about now, because the earlier he plants that, the better the yield he gets. The problem is he's only got one field of soybeans that's ready to harvest. It was planted late on a shorter maturity seed, so it's ready to harvest already. His other soybean fields are probably about 3 weeks off before they're ready to harvest. And so his insurance company, after he agreed all the insurance and everything, told him that you need to plant you can't plant all of one crop in one field. You have to split it over multiple fields. So he was thinking, well, maybe what we can do is plant half a field with wheat and another field half of wheat, and then put something else in the field. But in the rest of the field. But as it is, because he's only got this one field of soybeans that's ready to harvest, kind of stuck. He's gonna have to eat the premium increase and put all of the wheat in that one field. But he said the wheat's a good yielding crop for them. I'm not sure they've done it before. And then they also have, they're not doing a lot in the way of corn, because apparently corn is a little bit, what's the word for it? It's not a clear-cut income. There's no guarantees, and it's fluctuating quite badly. So he's kind of looking at that and saying, we want to plant something that's going to give us a known income rather than who knows. So soybeans are at the moment the best thing. I think about 2/3 of his fields are soybeans at the moment. Of course, the grass is the hay for the cattle. But he's still planting some some corn. It's just not huge amounts of it at the moment. And maybe if the market settles down, they'll go back to planting more of. But right now we're close or at soybean harvesting time, depending on whether short duration or short maturation soybeans were planted or a longer maturation. You can see it in the fields. There are some soybean fields that are definitely yellow and ready to harvest, and there's others out there that are still patches of green. So it's going to be a while before they're completely ready to go. Lined up. How's the time? Okay. Game clock says 9:19. Almost real time. So we're good for the weather at the moment. I'm going to go straight down to the bottom edge and then we'll fill in the triangle there. And then the rest of the field's just going to be straight rows, which will be nice. Yeah, and that can be an issue as well. I'm not sure it's so much the drying out, it's how long it takes. You're buying seed that has 160 days to maturation, or 190 days, and obviously the difference in that is an entire month. But you've got to plant the stuff that you know is going to be ready before fall comes and or frost comes, more importantly. And in Michigan that can be an issue. I think we're expecting an early frost this year, maybe. We're definitely expecting a harsher winter this year. I mean, our little vegetable garden in the back, the melons are done. They weren't that great. We got a couple of sort of soccer ball sized melons out of it, so not the greatest of yields. Our peppers have resprouted and are growing more peppers, but they're like tiny, sort of end of your thumb size green peppers, so they need some help if you're going to cook with them. We've got a few hot peppers, habaneros. They've now matured, so we can pick those and use them. I'll probably use them next week when Mrs. Osa's off. Our basil's turned into a tree, so the leaves are now very bitter, and the stems are just hard as anything. Parsley, oregano, and what's the rest of it? Chives are still doing okay. The tomatoes are done. The tomato bushes are dead. And we've pulled off all of the fruit. Some of it is still green, but we're really at the end of season for everything now. And it's probably time to clean up the beds and get them set up for winter. Obviously, we don't expect the dirt to wash away because they're in planter boxes rather than the ground. We would have issues planting in the yard because deer, lots of deer, hundreds of deer. I think the neighbours feed deer, so hence the problem is that they're encouraged to come here. Plus the woodland behind the house is just a nice safe place for them to hide. Does mean more than a few get killed each year running across the main cross street, but that's their problem. I think I'm just going to do this by hand now. And then we have the wild turkeys too, that come strolling through every so often. We had two groups yesterday, a group of 4 and a group of 5. So if we're short of food in Thanksgiving, there's always that, I guess. And looks like I got all of them now. Head back to this. That should be pretty much most of it. So yeah, as far as I'm aware, Terra Life is going to make soil compaction a major deal, and crop destruction. There's no